Often a person's initial reaction to sexual assault is to reduce her contact with others. Feelings of guilt and shame can follow. More often than not, the victim knows her assailant. This video explains the options, services, and resources available to victims of sexual assault to guide them through this process. Certain hospitals are designated centers for victims of sexual assault. These hospitals offer medical services and psychological support for the victim. The services are provided by a team of social workers, nurses, and doctors, and are confidential and offered free of charge. Starting from the age of 14, the individual does not need the authorization of a parent or guardian to receive these services. No matter the assault or injury sustained, it is recommended to turn to the designated centers as soon as possible in order to receive the necessary support and services for physical and mental health and for guidance with the judicial process if needed. A victim can press charges on her sexual assailant. Here's a summary of the judicial process and the steps that will involve the participation of the victim. At any time during any of these stages, the accused may plead guilty to the charges. He will receive a sentence, and this will end the proceedings. First, the victim's statement is taken. If the accused pleads guilty, the judge will decide on the sentence. In the case of a not guilty plea, the preliminary inquest will be used to establish whether there is sufficient evidence to put the accused on trial. During the trial, each party presents its evidence. If a guilty verdict is pronounced, the judge will determine the sentence after he has heard representations from both parties. Remember that the lack of proof does not mean that you're not believed. Please be aware that the victim has the right to be accompanied throughout the whole process. They also have the right to be informed of all the details and progress of their case. For some victims, filing a claim and pursuing the claim until the final result gives them a sense of accomplishment. However, it may be a difficult process because the victim has to recount the details of the abuse and runs the risk of seeing her assailant. To ensure the safety of the victim, protective measures will be taken throughout the judicial process. For example, the assailant will have court-mandated conditions. This can include not having any contact with the victim by any means. Whether there be a judicial process or not, there are services that help dealing with the consequences of the assault. It is important to try not to isolate oneself. Fortunately, there are many specialized resources that are free and confidential. In a judgment-free approach that respects the pace of the individual, the caseworkers will welcome, listen, and accompany them with their needs. There's a bilingual helpline accessible at all times for listening, referrals, and any other questions relating to sexual abuse. Contact 1-888-933-9007 or for the Montreal region, 514-933-9007. To learn more about victim compensation, visit IVAC, Indemnisation des Victimes d'Actes Criminels, at ivac.qc.ca. For more information, go to violencesexuelle-tvsois.ca. Funding for this video was provided by the Fonds d'aide aux victimes d'actes criminels.